Hello, 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 hello. Okay, hopefully this is working. Okay, yes, it looks like the mic is now working and picking up. Goodness gracious. I tried to go live earlier and for some reason it was acting completely wonky and would not pick up my audio. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to try this again. Hello, I hope you are doing well. If you're watching this, I've decided to do a last minute sort of live where I'm going to be focusing specifically today on the I Ching. Oh, yay, good. Thank you for joining and watching. I'm glad the audio is working. Yeah, I don't know what was happening. So yes. So I'm excited. This video, like I said, is a last minute thing that I decided to do. And I know that my other lives I've had open to galactic questions and human design and intuitive readings, Akashic readings. But tonight, what I wanted to do is I'm actually going to kind of go back to an old method of in offering intuitive guidance through tossing the I Ching. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then I'm going to kind of open it up to anybody watching that would like to have a personal reading from me, intuitive reading. Hi, thank you so much for watching. And so if you are watching and you're with me live, stay tuned, stay with me after I go over this introduction. Then I'm going to kind of open the floor to anybody still with me that would like a reading. But first, I want to kind of talk a little bit about this because I think I'm going to start doing some of these more frequently. And so I want to kind of give you a basis of what exactly it is. So what the I Ching is, it is a very ancient, very, very ancient modality, Chinese modality, where you are tossing coins in a form of divination to receive information. Now, I actually have two videos on my channel that talk about this. One is the basics of beginning, and the other one talks about how I intuitively read it, the I Ching, through what is called the Bagua. So I want to talk slightly about this. So the I Ching is 64 hexagrams. And what these are is you can kind of look at this as a scope almost of human consciousness or human experience that take us from, the origin point, which you could say is hexagram 1. This is the full expression of yang, all the way to a completion energy, you could say. So when we're throwing the I Ching, normally you would have a book or a chart that shows the hexagrams. I'll kind of give you this little one here. This is something actually you don't have to have the book. You can actually look up on your own. Say like, what are the I Ching hexagrams? And so in this, these are the 64 hexagrams and what they would look like. So each one of these is assigned a number 1 through 64, and they each mean something very specific. So when you're doing the I Ching, you throw the coins to develop a total of 6 lines. Now, from there, it will give a lot of information. So normally how people would do it is they would throw and they would build the hexagram, which is 6 lines, and then they would go to the book and look it up and say, oh, okay, which is it? What does that mean? And then you would look it up, see what it means. I'll give you a brief example. For example, if you had a hexagram that was all solid lines, so it would look like this: 6 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if it was 6 solid lines, like this right here, this would be the hexagram of 1. And so if I was reading for someone and I threw the coins and I got all 6 lines and it looked like this, some things that could come through that is basically it would say to me, oh, okay, where you're at, depending on the question, where you're at right now in your life, you are meant to embrace your creative essence. You are meant to express yourself. There's a call to participate in your life in ways that you're coming forward, you're expressing. You may have the desire to create something new that would be very aligned for you at this time. These are the energies that would be inviting you to kind of embrace and step into. Now, for example, if you got the opposite, which would be 6 dash lines, I'll show you a diagram, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so if it's over here is the dashed lines, okay? So this would be hexagram 2, and this is the full expression of yin. So if I was reading for someone and I got this hexagram, I would say, oh, okay, so you are meant to be in a receiving energy right now. You are meant to sort of look more internally. Notice where you are. What is it you're watering in your life? What is it you're wanting to grow? Can you take a pause to think about what the next step is? Is it feeling aligned? You know, are you honoring those aspects of your inner intuition or knowing? So you can see here, there's different expressions. Okay. So I'm going to put later in the description the video if you do want to go and look to see how to do this for yourself. But basically, I'm going to read this according to how I do, which is very intuitive. So that's going to look like me throwing the I Ching. And then I'm going to kind of intuitively read it based on what's called the Bagua. And then from that point, I will kind of look up the hexagram and add additional layers. All right, so that's the basics of it. Before I go any further, is anybody watching want to know more specifically on how to throw it for yourself? Do you want to know any more details on how to create the hexagram? Post. I'm only going to take a moment for this, so post in the comments if you do, and I can add that information. I feel like I need like Jeopardy music. Yes. Also, what's a Bagua? Oh, I love talking about that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do this as simple as possible. Here's the coin, okay? It doesn't matter. Actually, I wish I had a quarter here. It doesn't matter what you throw, okay? It could be a quarter, it could be a penny, it could be whatever. Basically, you want to pick a side, kind of like when you're doing a coin, head or tail, right? You have heads, you have tails, okay? Now, we're going to look at it as heads is going to be considered masculine or is going to be considered yang, so that's a plus, okay? The other side, tails, so I'll put head is plus. Tails will be negative, okay? So you're assigning a side to your coin, plus, negative, okay? You'll need 3 coins. So there are, when you throw the coins, each coin throw creates a line. Yin and yang. So yin is going to be the feminine expression. It's going to be softer, receiving. It's going to be the tails or the negative. And yang is the heads. This is usually masculine expression. We're just speaking energy here, guys. Okay. just energy. The typical yang expression is more creative, forward motion, discovery, new, bringing something new, things of this, where the yin is receptive. Look at it as like the fertile ground. It's receiving into, when we have the yin, like as if the earth, a lot of times you can also see yang sun, yin earth. So it can be receiving into the soil, receiving inner reflection, inner self, kind of like the example I gave earlier. I talked about these two hexagrams. This one is yin, the full expression of yin, and this one is yang, which is all solids. Okay, so the way you find out what you have, there's 4 possible combinations. Okay, I'm going to write them out. So if you have a plus, 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 meaning you throw all 3 coins and you get 3 pluses. Okay, this then becomes a changing line, or what is considered to be like full yang. Okay, so if it was all heads or all pluses. Okay, so in that case, you would draw a circle and a line through it. It looks kind of like this. Okay, so that's option 1, and we'll talk about what it means in a second. Option 2 would be the opposite. If it's all negatives, so all, for example, tails. So this would be the full expression of yin, okay? So that is a dash line with an X in the middle. This would be the other, what is considered changing lines. Okay? The next option, the next 2, it goes by the lesser. That's it. It's as simple as that. So if I have plus, plus, negative, the lesser wins. Okay, so if we have plus, plus, negative, that would mean then that is yeser yin. So then it would be a yin, which is a dashed line. Okay, if you have negative, negative, plus, that would then mean, because what's lesser is the plus or the heads, so then that would be a full yang line. And here are the 4 combinations. And if you want to practice with me, you can try, but I'll give you an example. So I'll create a hexagram. It starts from the bottom up. So you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Always bottom up. All right, so you take your coins, you shake them, put them out, okay? So in this case, I have a negative, and a plus. So that's going to be a solid line. So under 1 is a solid line. Next line is, again, 2 negatives and a plus. Again, the lesser is the plus. So it's a solid line. Lesser wins. Just remember that. Lesser wins. All right, so now I have 2 solid lines. All right, next I have 2 pluses, 1 negative. So again, 2 yangs, 1 yin. So the lesser wins. So this would be a yin line, so a dashed line. Next one, I have 2 negatives, 1 plus, so that is a lesser wins, which is yang, so it is a solid yang line. That one moved. All right, the next one, I have 2 pluses, negative, 2 pluses, negative, lesser wins. So that would be a dashed yin line. And then the last line, and then I'll talk about what the Bagua means because that's the next step. Okay, and for this one, again, I have, let's see here, 2 negatives and a plus, the lesser wins. So that is a yang line. Okay, so I'll show you what this looks like. So this right here is, the screen is reversed. This is our hexagram. Okay, now when we're looking at the hexagram, what you do is you take, and when you're reading the I Ching how I do, you divide this in half. The bottom is considered the lower trigram, and the top is the upper trigram. Okay, there is, when you toss the coins, a total combination of 8. The 8 possible combinations, and I'll give you a little bit of a, if you want to look in this book here, there's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, these are heaven. Well, I'll read them according to this. Heaven, lake, fire, thunder, wind, water, mountain, earth. Okay, as you can see, I have these numbers next to them. Okay, this is, in human design, the gates. So if you essentially understand these gates and a few aspects, and I have a video that talks about this, you can essentially read the I Ching according to this by knowing. I gave you 2 examples already when I shared with you these 2 hexagrams, because I said this one, I'll write them down. This is yang, this is yin. So this says creative, keep going, express yourself, new things. This says essentially slow down, receive, internal reflection. This is like the basics of it, okay? So when you know all 8 of these expressions, what that means, you can begin to put the story together. Okay, so the last thing I want to say with this is currently, collectively, as we go through the sun travels, we are in each one of these gates for a total of about 5 to 6 days. It just so happens that as of yesterday, we are collectively in the energy of thunder, which is gate 51. Okay, so what does that mean? That means whether you in your human design chart or not have this energy, everybody will collectively be feeling this theme. So what does thunder mean? It is actually one of the more complicated gates to describe, but it just so happens to be my sun sign. My birthday's in a couple days. And so I've had to do a lot of studies on understanding this gate and what it means. So let me talk a little bit about it. What it means is right now, collectively, chances are there can be a ripeness of shocking circumstances and things that are coming up in individual or collectively in your lives to kind of put you on path towards your highest expression. So this could be, for example, you may all of a sudden get a shocking job opportunity that takes your life on a whole new path or a whole new direction. Another example could be there could be a shocking situation equally, such as If you were to lose your job or you find you have to suddenly move, it is shocking and a pivotal point, but is course correcting you towards sort of a higher point in your life to put you on track. Also, another example is people that have this energy often can be very intuitively connected, and quickly pick up on things that they can kind of have no BS, kind of if someone tries to pull one over, they are very good at having a penetrating essence of them, that they can kind of tell if things aren't accurate. They kind of call a spade, if you will. Another expression of this can be that people either can feel drawn to you or kind of don't feel comfortable with you. It kind of has a harsh, it can have a strong, powerful energy to it. And I think the other thing I would say is it also can be a competitive energy, and is meant to inspire sort of that playful banter of competition to move things forward. Everything is to kind of move into a direction of what is more aligned or awakening, in a sense. And I can say personally, as this is my sun sign, so this is a theme in my life. I've had multiple sudden awakening experiences. I have had sudden life changes. I've had sudden opportunities that didn't make sense, but they happened. And this has been a theme throughout my life. So from now until April 10th, collectively, everybody is kind of in this energy feeling this. So notice where you may feel an underlying sense of agitation also. If you feel like your feathers are getting ruffled, that's another part of this energy that you could be feeling as well. But essentially, everything that happens is for some form of awakening or awareness. So if you're feeling agitated, look and say, okay, why is this bothering me? Why is this coming up? Why is this relevant to how I'm feeling? Because chances are it's carrying a message that you need to know. Okay, enough talk about that. Let's see who here with me would like to have a reading. If you would like to have a reading and me read for you, toss the coins for you. You just need to provide a name, first name, that's it. It could even be a nickname if you want. And once you give me that, let me know if you do have a specific question you want me to throw the coins for, or an area of your life. If not, just say I'd like a general reading. But yeah, okay, awesome. Now, I believe the Crimson, so I believe last time we spoke, you said use the name of Light. Is that accurate? And if so, do you have a specific area you want me to toss for, or do you want a general guidance reading? Let me see if I can figure out how to reply specifically. Because I think Crimson, you replied first. So, and then it looks like Lisa, you'll be second. Okay. So, all right. So Lisa, hang tight with me for a minute. Do you want me to go by the name of Light for you? Let me reply. Yes, please, Light. Okay, you're quicker than I can type. I'm not great with technology. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna, so Light, if you will, take a moment and kind of like breathe, ground in with me. Just like take a breath, take a pause while I connect to your energy. And I'm just going to toss the coins. I'm not going to go into the explanation. I've already covered that, and I'll just start reading for you, okay? I'm just calling upon my angels and helping me connect. All right. Use my glasses. It'll be a lot quicker. Oh, my hair's a mess. Oh, there's a lot of, so far, a lot of yang lines coming up here. All right, last line. Okay, that's a changing line. All right. So there's an emphasis on that. Okay, give me just a second here to kind of tune in. And I will show you this. And I am going to show you this just so you can see. So I mentioned the Bagua. So this is your hexagram that I'm going to be reading for you. Okay, so you got heaven and mountain. All right, I'm going to tune into this frequency. Now, when I'm reading this, I look at the base as kind of what is wanting to come forward. Okay, so when I'm connecting to this, the first thing I can say here for you, light, is that when I said, oh, there's a lot of yang on the bottom, that's heaven, all yang. Lines. This is where I talked about the energy of creative, of expression, of, you can kind of look at it as all these beautiful things that want to come alive, bubbling under your surface. So it's like the bottom triagram is more of the inner self, the deeper aspect. So this energy, we can look at it as like wanting to come up. Okay. So I'm feeling here at the base that I feel there's a lot that you have that you can contribute. There's a lot that wants to kind of come forth with you in the world. Now, what's interesting about this is if we look at this, though, the top energy is mountain. This energy in its highest expression says to me, that, this is called in human design, the Buddha channel. So it says to me that there is a quality about you that is able to be more calculated, to be more patient in thinking things through, methodical in the sense of able to have a consistency and a pace about you that is sort of mindful. Now, that said, with mountain, it's stillness though. And so we're looking at under the surface, like all of this energy wanting to come forward, but you kind of have this like boulder capping it off on top of it, this energy on top of it. And my feeling of this is what I'm sensing is there may be this desire to contribute, to help, to make an impact, to use gifts, to bring all of that expression up. But also there could be a resistance or a weight of where maybe perhaps you at times can feel slow to start because you think, I want to make sure I'm doing it right, or I want to make sure I'm not messing it up. When we're looking at this top line here that has the six in it, this energy here is kind of what wants to move a little bit, because that would change to a different expression, a softer energy. So this says to me too that you can almost look at it as like putting a cap on things, the weight of decision, the pressure to contain or hold this down. But at the impact, the what wants to come forward, wants to contribute, wants to make a difference, wants to leave an imprint. But there's this energy that feels like it's restricting. And what I feel like your guides want you to know is, so I'm going to draw you a picture of what this hexagram would look like with the changing line, because anytime you have a changing line, it goes to the opposite. So if it's yang, it goes to yin. If it's yin, it goes to yang. And we've talked a little bit about the different expression of that. So when we are looking at the position of the line, which is relevant, which is why I said you read from the bottom up, and you can watch one of my videos to go more into that if you feel called to understand why. But I'm going to draw you this diagram of what this energy would look like if that top line was open. And this is what it would look like. Do you see the difference? Up here, it's like, here, it's open. You can look at this as this offers a channel. This offers a space for all of this underneath to kind of bubble up forward, to come forward. So what I feel like is coming through intuitively for you is wherever you are right now in your current experiences, where you may feel like you are restraining yourself, where you're questioning yourself, where you're being too much into your head, this bottom energy is not head energy. It's expression. It's like, no, it's moving, it's going. You can look at this, as wanting to come out. So allow yourself, relax, allow yourself the ability to express that forward. Now, if I recall correctly, the exact gate number of this first hexagram, I believe, is 40, but let me double check. No, I'm wrong. Okay, that's mountain. Ooh, okay, that's number 26. All right, so let's take this a step further for you. This is pretty cool. For you, light. Okay, not only is it saying there's all of this stuff underneath, but this also suggests this gate of 26. It actually suggests that you have a quality about you that is capable of almost being, I would say, very influential. Now, the proper terminology for this would be, this is in human design, the gate of kind of like the salesman, but I don't like that language because it implies icky feelings. What it means is that there is a gift quality that you have within yourself that actually you can be very persuasive. You have the ability to intuitively tune into aspects of yourself that can present things to people in a way that is actually very aligned with what they want to hear. Like, I can imagine if you went to a restaurant and you were talking to a friend and you said, "Oh my gosh, I went to this restaurant. It was so good. You have to check it out. Chances are they're going to go check it out because of your coming at it from a very intuitive place. So when you look at this expression of heaven, this wants to create something new. Like I said, it wants to make an impact. It wants to make a contribution. So it's like an energy that when you allow yourself to step into this, you can do that. It can be persuasive. And so I feel like what wants to be received or shifted is that sixth line, which in giving extra layers represents an energy that is of the role model. So it's saying here, I feel like with this, allow yourself the freedom to step into this energy, to be confident in what's bubbling under the surface. How does that resonate or feel for you? Leave me a comment and let me know. And then Lisa, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to start. If you're still with me, Lisa, put a comment. Let me know you're still here. And let me know if there's an area of your life, general guidance or a specific question that you want me to throw on. Let's see, I might try to. Oh, yep, there you are. Okay. 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 Okay, that's a lot. that's a lot of different areas here. Also, light, thank you. I'm so glad that it resonated. Okay, so I am just gonna tune into all those things you said, and I'm gonna kind of, Lisa, I'm gonna approach it from the angle of highest path, work, career. Does that sound good for this one? Good. Okay, so we're going to approach it from that angle. Okay. Give me just a second while I throw. And while I'm throwing, Lisa, just tune into, kind of just take a breath in your body. Allowing yourself to rest and connect. Oh, okay. And there's the changing line. Okay. Okay, all right, Lisa, let me tune into this here. I want to show you your hexagram. Okay, you can see here again, it must be the energy around going on. There's a lot of yang at the bottom here. And also, I don't know if you heard the conversation I shared earlier about thunder. but that's your other energy here. Okay, so the first thing I can just tell you right off the bat from this that stands out the most is the changing line, which is this fifth line here, okay? Which when it's changing, like I said, it goes to the opposite. So this is yin, it would go to yang, okay? So I look at this as instantly right off the bat, one thing that this is saying to me is all of the lines underneath here are very masculine in the sense, or the yang. And then this line isn't, it's softer, it's yin, but it wants to be the yang, okay? So a part of me is feeling this catches my eye because it suggests to me that possibly in that fifth line, which would normally represent kind of like the leader, the manager, the person that can say, okay, guys, this is how we're going to tackle this. This is how we're going to do this. It has this energy of confidence in it. This energy is one that a lot of times people can externally sense that, you know, if something was going on, that fifth line energy would be the one that they want the guidance from. So with this energy here being the receptive, the yin expression wanting to be yang, instantly I'm feeling that all of this underneath you that you are capable of, that is creative, new, expressive, you know, has that energy to kind of move forward. There's this essence that you're good, and then when it gets to the place of like, okay, now step forward, it's like, ooh, but am I the person to speak? Am I sure? I gotta make sure I'm saying this right. Or maybe, am I really the best fit for this role? It has this energy that kind of goes back into itself and questions. And what I feel like is coming through is, that's not the energy desired. What wants to come forward is a more confident expression. That yang expression would be confidence in your building. You have all of this new to give, to offer, and then having that confidence to kind of like bring it forward. And it's okay that the top line is yin, okay? Because that is kind of like what I'm hearing is the icing on the cake, right? That is where it kind of is saying, yes, I have all of this bubbling, I have the confidence, I have all of these things. But there is also a exterior of acceptance that I am these things, you know, and that's okay. So it's not boastful, it just is. I did a channeling today, and one of the pieces of guidance that came through is a lion doesn't go around being like, okay, well, is it okay if my roar sounds like this? Or, you know, do you mind if I'm a lion over here? Or should I, you know, be more like a zebra? There's no apologies for being the essence of the lion and what you are. And I'm just tuning in for there is an element of this that has an essence of impact and power to it with that thunder energy. I feel as if there is a like an essence of contribution, yes, but also a importance of like when you share, when you allow that to kind of come forward in you, that it is very influential is the word I keep getting. It is very received. is the other word that I'm getting. So I feel like in part with this energy, a big part of it is wanting you to embody, to embrace, allow this expression within yourself. All right, and I'm just gonna take a peek. All right. Aw, I love that. Okay, so the actual hexagram number for this is 34. Okay. Guess what that means? That means in human design, gate 34 is like expression of self. It's literally when you are like all of you embodying unapologetically everything you are, that people change, that things happen. And it's just because you're being you. It is the most powerful like essence gate in human design, connected to the I want to say sacral, but it is, yeah, the sacral, but it is potent, it's powerful. So I feel like what your guides are saying, it's all about this fifth line, like you got this, like you got this, you are, it's time to shine in your fullness. It's time to stop making no disclaimers, no apologies, no backtracks. Just you have potent energy right now that really wants to come alive. Really wants to come alive. And I would say when you're talking in terms of highest path, work, and career, this is very potent. But it starts here, self. It starts with you. It starts when you're just enjoying, expressing, being that which you naturally are. This gate doesn't say, oh, well, what would be helpful for the collective right now? What would be the best thing to kind of make the biggest, influence to fix the situation or to make them feel held? That's not this energy. This energy is you be all of you confidently moving forward. And as you do that, things happen, things shift, people feel it, change happens. And also it suggests that there's a lot of energy under the surface that you have to see your dreams come true, to see the things you want manifest. Yes. Yes, yes. All right. Lisa, let me know, how does that feel? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, all right. That's all. Yeah, a 5-1 splenic projector. Yeah, embrace that 5 line. Yes, for sure. I'm sure that you have a lot of people that like to open up and tell you all their stories just because. And they're like, why am I telling you all of this? And imagine that happens to you at least every now and then. Okay, wonderful. I'm so glad that that resonated. Yay. Okay, all right. Very true. Okay. Yes. All right. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's that. I'm so glad that that was helpful. Okay, so I'm going to see really quick if there's anyone else that hasn't had a reading that would like one, that is left hanging out in the chats. And if not, I'll probably go ahead and wrap this one up. But I'm curious, for those of you that are here, if you enjoyed it or if you're watching it in a replay, leave me a comment. Let me know if you like these sort of intuitive readings, if they're fun for you. So yeah, awesome. Very cool. Yeah. I really I started my journey with the I Ching. I love human design, but I was like, I want to know the I Ching. I quickly memorized the 64 gates and studied the Baguas and all of the different energies. So yeah. Okay, guys, it looks like we have no more takers for tonight's video, and we are just about just shy of that hour point. So thank you so much for joining me. I know I might have kind of been all over the place a little bit in the beginning. I love it so much, but I do have very efficiently recorded videos that you can watch. Check out, I'll add the link to in the description to these, where it very easy walks through step by step. I know today I'm kind of like scribbling and showing, but I have one that is very basic beginner on throwing the I Ching and the different aspects of it. And then I have the second video, which is all about the Bagua. And I do a live example of where I'm reading the energy and how to do it intuitively. So yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, it's always fun to. My logical mind also enjoys how when things just kind of line up and are like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. So it's fun. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful week. And I will be doing another video next Sunday for intuitive channel guidance. And I don't know, maybe I'll leave it open if someone says, hey, do the I Ching. I can do it that way too. So, all right, thank you so much for watching, and keep in touch and come back again. Bye.